one of the reigning things in our time is this issue called sex doll. Out of investigation and research, I've come to realize that sex doll is a stuff that people use to gratify themselves sexually. And then many people who are involved in it claimed that they do it because some of them said they are tired of having human being around them, and that some people had bad characters, they can't cope with them, and that sex doll is what is giving them the pleasure that they truly desire to have. Meanwhile, others come to think about it, and they are like, the main thing they needed is just having a full time with something that truly gives them joy and that does not complain with their way of life. To some few group of people, they, in the way of pretense, who don't want people to know about their sexual kind of life, chooses to mingle with this thing called sex doll. They buy it, and they have their private life with it, and they find joy or pleasure out of it. This and many more are the reasons why people indulge in buying sex doll or in using them. Then out of this, I decided to make a little inquiry, and during the inquiry, I do not just discover this, I have come to know this. The forces of darkness gathered together, and while they gathered, they decided to increase the way of sin upon the part of man. And during their discussion, they came up with the fact that they have actually done a whole lot, but they truly want to capture man entirely onto themselves. And one of the ways through which they think they can do this is actually introducing an inanimate stuff, an inanimate substance, through which they will possess the body of such a substance that whosoever comes to have an interfere with them is like directly having an interfere with the spirit that is inside that substance. What I mean to say is that whosoever comes to have an interfere with those inanimate substances are having interfere or intercourse with the devil that is actually inside. The reason for this is to keep man in perpetual lust, is to make sure that man is totally separated from his maker, is to ensure that the life of man is totally destroyed. After they did this, after the discussion and their plans, they went ahead and then truly brought the issue. If you should check the history of sex doll, you discover that those ones who started with it were like, there were people who travel on sea, and because they missed their wife or their girlfriends, they decided to make something of such a nature to gratify them. But the honest truth is, it was the spirit from the water kingdom that inspired them to do such kind of a thing, because they truly want to have them engaged in some rubbish kind of acts. And they did it. And the people that had no wisdom about it today went about buying it and gratifying themselves. They thought it is all about pleasure. They thought it gives them fun. They thought it satisfies their body. Little did they know the mystery that is behind it. The mystery behind sex doll is actually that those marine spirits and those demons truly came to possess those things that human beings should sleep with them. I pity human beings. People that do not truly know the source and the reason for this jump into it, and they have so much sabotaged their life. Oh, if only human beings know the repercussions and the problems that are involved in this. Sex doll is produced actually to cause God's anger and wrath to be increased against the man that he created. But because people did not know the source, they didn't know how it comes about it, they didn't know the main reason why it was created, or it was brought about. Their thoughts on human beings just created some stuff that will actually help them to gratify their body sexually. Little did they know that it's all a plan from the kingdom of darkness to ensure that the life of human being is our stake to ensure that there is a total separation from God. Listen to me. How do you feel? You, a noble being that God created you to be, have so much reduced yourself by sleeping with an inanimate substance. Aren't we ashamed of ourselves? This is all the gatherings and the manipulations of the forces of darkness to ensure that the people of God reduce themselves from what they ought to be. Listen, be wise. Reject all the forms of this. Others get diddles. They buy them, and then they gratify themselves with it. They make intercourse with them to ensure that they derive pleasure out of them. Little did they know that all of these things are having spirits behind. The spirit is actually what is sleeping with you. And now I will tell you this truly, that whosoever has engaged himself in any form of sexual act with any inanimate stuff, be it a vibrator, anything at all, or a sex doll, the female one, the male one, or whatsoever that it is, you are directly committing fornication with the spirit of the devil. In another way around, you have been married to a spirit demon, and then you have been engaged with them, and then your life is almost sabotaged. You've been kept in bondage with it. And the repercussion to this, number one, is that you will become so much addicted that you will barely not be able to have yourself delivered. Number two, it brings about heavy kind of lust, and then this affection towards your human fellow. And then one of the third things it does is it brings setback and limitation. It causes the doer of it to be limited. It causes the doer of it to be held in backwardness. It can result to poverty, wretchedness, and immoral kind of thought. It reduces you totally from being who you are supposed to be. It makes you a nobody. It takes your senses away and then reduces you to be nothing. These are the effects and many more. And all of these things, the forces of darkness came together to plan to ensure that human being fall into the trap. I decided to do this, to open your eyes towards it. Sex, though, is not for fun. It is actually something that is prepared to steal your soul. It is a prize. It is like you trading your life for it. If you do it, you truly miss your life. You've truly sold your life to the devil. You've had an affair with the devil, an intercourse with spirits. This is the reason why they possesses them, the people who does it, and then their life is no longer normal. Brothers and sisters, it's time for you to reject all of these things and come back to God. May the Lord have mercy upon you. If you're already engaged in doing it, reject it now. Pray hard and come back to Jesus, and He will help you. You know you've been doing it, you want your freedom, and you can't. Just reply by giving a comment below with your name. I will pray for you and give you some counsels on how you need to be delivered. You must accept Jesus and follow Him tenaciously. May the Lord help you all in the name of Jesus Christ. You're welcome.